A Springfield attorney's push to get medical marijuana on the November ballot is once again making headlines. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Heather Lewis. Let's get right to Jesse Inman for this Color 10 follow-up report. Jesse, what's the latest?
Yeah, Heather, a medical marijuana measure backed by Bradshaw, he's a doctor and attorney here in Springfield, is one of three possible medical marijuana measures that could be on the ballot this November. Now, Bradshaw, who backs Amendment 3, or Find the Cures initiative, filed lawsuits against the other two measures. Those would be Amendment 2, New Approach Missouri, and Missourians for Patient Care, which is Proposition C. And Bradshaw is challenging the validity of those signatures. Now, Missouri's appeals court determined today that of those two lawsuits, the one against Missourians for Patient Care will go forward. In District 5, they made it by just 38 signatures, and Bradshaw doesn't think that's enough to pass a signature sufficiency challenge. But for New Approach Missouri, Bradshaw claims they illegally gathered those signatures, committing voter fraud during the petition process.
So what happened is New Approach had on their website directing people to go to places to sign the initiative petitions without a circulator being present. The Missouri courts in the past, in 1978, allowed that and said that kind of fraud is acceptable as long as it's an actual voter who signed. And so right now we're working our way up to the Supreme Court to see how they're going to decide it today.
Bradshaw says he has strong evidence, including a social media post by Ethan Thampy, who Bradshaw says is one of New Approach Missouri's founders, and he's no longer with the organization. He says the campaign used dozens of petition locations around the state where signatures were collected without the petition gatherer being physically present. He says he saw himself several instances of this happening and relayed his concerns to members of New Approach Missouri's board, which were largely ignored. And Jack Cardetti with New Approach Missouri, or Amendment 2, shared a statement with Color 10 tonight that says, with the dismissal of attorney Bradshaw's frivolous lawsuit, Missourians will have the opportunity to vote for Amendment 2. It goes on to say, our patient and veteran-centered approach stands in stark contrast to Amendment 3, and Bradshaw himself, who is a coalition of one that is strictly in this for himself. And with about 9.5 weeks until the election, Bradshaw has asked for an expedited hearing for his appeal to the Missouri Supreme Court to clarify what will be on the ballot for voters.